Welcome to Health Styles, where we believe that everything you eat, drink, and think directly affects your health. I'm your host, Carol Dean. Microwater is the latest buzzword. Well, what is it and why is it so good for you? Jim Karnstedt is a writer, lecturer, and his specialty is microwater. It's ions, ozone, and alkaline. So thank you for coming to Health Styles.
Well, thank you, Carol.
Now, our game plan today is we want to learn what is microwater, what does it do for us, why is it so important. We want to learn more about the pH balance, the acid-alkaline that we're hearing about. We want to know what we can do to keep our skin looking younger and how water affects us. So this is a lot to cover, okay? So now your specialty is microwater. Where did you find it and how did you get involved with it?
I was very fortunate, Carol, to be taking a walk in Japantown, right near where I live in San Francisco, when I walked by a window that had a picture of Brooke Shields in there with a bunch of apples in her hand, and at the same time next to her was one of these machines. I really wasn't sure what it was, except a friend of mine had just returned from Japan and told me about these wonderful documentary films that were being shown on the Miracle Water series. And this was the result.
And this was on television?
It was on Japanese television. He asked his Japanese girlfriend what this was, and she explained it does something to the water that's more energizing to a person when they drink it, and that it makes them feel more calm and relaxed. And I thought that was very intriguing. And then he mentioned something about ions. Well, I've been involved with ion research for over 20 years now, so this totally surprised me that I'd never heard anything about it, and proceeded to walk in the door talking to a gentleman who gleefully took me off to a corner, started showing me pH tests and what this water can do, and I was absolutely intrigued.
So now this is the microwater.
This is the microwater, a type of machine that takes water, it splits it in two, and it does this by having the water first go through a filter to clean up the water. Most people have water filters or they buy bottled water, but now we're going to do something else. What is the final stage where water can replicate that which is only found in high mountain streams, bubbling over the rocks, picking up all that fresh ionized oxygen back into the water, and then you drink it and get that exhilarating feeling. Well, that's the final stage for water before you drink it, ideally. However, because we live in cities and we don't live high in the mountains, we end up buying bottled water, or we do the best we can by getting filtered water. This machine is able to take the water with a small membrane in the center, separate out the alkaline materials and the acid materials. And it does this by electrolysis.
So just putting so much electricity in the water separates the alkaline from the acid?
You actually have two platinum-plated electrodes so they don't wear out, and they're beautiful, and they're very effective in putting these charges into the water. The negative pole attracts the positively charged alkaline minerals. The positive pole attracts the negatively charged acid materials.
Okay, so what we need to know is, well, what is important about our bodies? What do we need? We need an acid-alkaline balance, right? If our bodies should be more alkaline, is that correct?
Yes, Carol, actually it's called homeostasis. And in homeostasis, the balance between acid and alkaline is very important. However, as we age and as we live in Western civilization, we are acid-making machines, from sitting at our computers, getting stressed in our shoulders, creating lactic acid.
And the diets we eat are very acidic, right?
High-protein foods, too much sugar, people that drink too much alcohol, or even, well, what is too much is a good question there. And generally the stress of 20th century living. So now we're really at a deficit. We're not sitting out in the country pleasantly under an apple tree anymore, and it's incumbent upon us to figure out how to get rid of all these acids that we're forming. And when you consider that 80% of the population is over acid, and this was determined in many studies.
Now you know microwater is really good for you, and now you understand why. Thanks for joining us, and bye for now.